The flashing red and blue lights cut through the night as two white police officers step out of their cruiser, body cams rolling. A black man stands by his car, hands raised, calm but firm. They see him as just another suspect, someone to control, not to respect. They question him, their tone laced with authority, but he doesn't flinch. Instead, he watches them closely, as if he knows something they don't. The officers think they're in charge. They think this is just another routine stop. But what they don't realize is that fate has a funny way of flipping the script. In just a few days, the man standing before them will walk through those same precinct doors, not in handcuffs, but in a suit. Not as a suspect, but as their new boss. And when that moment comes, everything they thought they knew about power and justice will change forever. The officers returned to the station that night, barely giving the encounter a second thought. To them, it was routine. Another stop, another report, nothing out of the ordinary. But for the man they pulled over, it was something much bigger. He had seen the way they looked at him, the way they assumed control without asking questions. He had felt the weight of their judgment before a single word was spoken. What they didn't know was that he wasn't just another driver. His name was Marcus Reed, a highly respected law enforcement official who had spent years working his way up the ranks. He had seen the system from the inside, understood its flaws, and knew exactly what needed to change. And now change was coming. Back at the station, rumors were already swirling, something about a new police chief arriving soon, but no one could have guessed who it would be. The next morning, Officer Daniels and Officer Cole sit in the briefing room, sipping coffee, half listening as their captain rattles off announcements. They barely react when he mentions a new chief taking over next week. Leadership changes all the time. It rarely affects them. But this one will be different. Across town, Marcus Reed prepares for his first day. He studies case files, watches body cam footage, and takes note of the officers who have been reported for unnecessary force. He's seen men like Daniels and Cole before, officers who follow the rules when someone's watching but act differently when they think no one is. He doesn't hold grudges, but he does believe in accountability. Back at the precinct, the officers joke about the promotion, placing bets on whether the new chief will be tough or just another bureaucrat. They have no idea they're about to face the man they pulled over days ago. The day finally arrives. Officers Daniels and Cole stand in the crowded precinct, arms crossed as they wait for the introduction of their new boss. Conversations buzz around the room, but they're barely listening, until the moment Marcus Reed steps forward. The room falls silent. Daniels and Cole's eyes widen as they recognize the man from that night. Their minds race, replaying every second of the stop, every word they said. Did they treat him fairly? Did they cross a line? They can't be sure anymore. Marcus doesn't acknowledge them right away. Instead, he looks around the room, scanning the faces of the officers he now commands. Then, finally, his gaze lands on them. His expression is unreadable, calm, confident, but firm. The tension is thick. Daniels swallows hard. Cole shifts uncomfortably. They don't know what's coming next, but one thing is clear. Nothing in this precinct will ever be the same again. The silence lingers as Marcus steps forward, his voice steady but commanding. He doesn't mention the traffic stop, not yet. Instead, he lays out his expectations, his vision for change. Some officers nod along, others remain unreadable, but Daniels and Cole can't shake the unease settling in their chests. They're waiting for the moment he calls them out, but it doesn't come, not directly. Then, just as they think they might be in the clear, Marcus pulls up body cam footage from recent stops. He plays clips of officers using excessive force, making assumptions, escalating situations instead of de-escalating. The tension in the room thickens as he pauses on a familiar scene, that a stop, their voices. But instead of singling them out, he looks at the entire department. This, Marcus says, his voice calm but sharp. This isn't leadership. This isn't justice. Daniel's stomach drops. He realizes Marcus isn't here for revenge. He's here to change everything. A heavy silence blankets the room as Marcus locks eyes with each officer. No one speaks. Daniels and Cole remain frozen, their faces stiff, their thoughts racing. They expected anger, punishment, something direct. But this is worse. Marcus isn't after them. He's after the entire system that allowed them to operate the way they did. Then, just when the tension seems unbearable, Marcus does something unexpected. He steps away from the screen and tells a story. A story about a young recruit who once believed in the badge, who wanted to serve with honor, until he saw the reality of unchecked power. A recruit who had been in their shoes, who had made mistakes, who had learned the hard way. Daniels listens, shifting uncomfortably, until Marcus delivers the final blow. That recruit was me. The room collectively exhales. Daniels feels the weight of his choices like never before, and in that moment he realizes this isn't about revenge, it's about transformation. The weight of Marcus's words settles over the room. No one expected this. Daniels and Cole exchange glances, realizing this moment isn't just about them, it's about something bigger. Marcus isn't here to punish, he's here to rebuild, to make them see what they've ignored for too long. Over the next few weeks, everything starts to shift. Training programs are introduced. Officers are held accountable. Conversations that were once avoided now take center stage. Daniels, for the first time, begins to question the way he's always done things. He replays that night over and over, seeing it from a different angle. One evening, as he leaves the station, he sees Marcus heading out too. Their eyes meet. No hostility, no fear, just understanding. "Chief," Daniels says with a nod. Marcus nods back. No words needed. The message is clear. Change isn't just coming, it's already here.